There is a precise moment when the conversation shifts. You were talking about something ordinary, work, the weather, something casual, and then, almost without noticing, a space opens up. Someone is not there, and so it begins. The voice drops half a tone. The words grow sharper, more precise in describing another person's flaws. There is a subtle pleasure in that instant, something close to relief. You suddenly feel closer to the person listening. What you are doing is called gossip, and almost everyone does it. It is not a marginal habit. It is one of the most widespread ways human beings spend time together. Robin Dunbar, studying the origins of language, proposed that talking about others, their actions, their mistakes, their lives, may have served over the course of evolution, a function similar to the physical grooming of primates. It was a way to create bonds, consolidate alliances, and signal who you belong with and who stands outside your circle. It was not cruelty, it was cohesion. That function is still active. When you gossip together about someone, the two of you become closer. There is a tacit agreement. We see him the same way. There is belonging in this, and belonging is one of the oldest needs you carry in your body. Do not ignore this root. If you deny it, you miss half the mechanism. But there is another half, and this one is less pleasant to look at. When you speak ill of someone, you are not only seeking connection with your listener, you are also, in a way that is often invisible, elevating yourself. If he was wrong, you did better. If she is selfish, you are generous. If they are mediocre, you are above that. Gossip is almost always an act of comparison. As we saw in the previous chapter, the mind constantly measures its position relative to others, and gossip is one of the ways it tries to shift that measure upward, not by genuinely improving, but by lowering the image of someone else. This is the structure of the poison. It uses something real, the need for belonging, the function of social bonding, to do something harmful, devaluing a human being who is absent and cannot respond. The damage is not abstract. The person described as incompetent, unreliable, or ridiculous carries that weight even without knowing it. Reputation is fragile fabric. Words that circulate behind someone's back shape perceptions, close doors, and alter relationships. And the person who gossips often does something even more subtle. They train their own mind to search for flaws, to reduce people to their errors and shortcomings. Then there is the damage to the one who gossips. Every time you speak badly of someone to feel larger, you are confirming a belief to the mind, that your worth depends on comparison, that you are enough only when the other is less. This belief is never satisfied. There will always be another person to diminish, another flaw to highlight, another moment of temporary relief. How do you recognize the impulse as it arises? It does not announce itself. It does not say, "I'm about to devalue this person to feel better about myself." It arrives in disguise. It arrives as a reasonable observation about a real behavior. It arrives as justified indignation, as concern for someone, as simply sharing a fact. This is why it is so difficult to see. The first signal often is not in the content of what you are about to say, but in that slight excitement that comes just before you open your mouth. A small charge. An anticipated pleasure. If you notice it, pause for a moment before speaking. There is also a signal in the body, a kind of tingle in the chest, an impulse to fill the space with words. When someone is absent and the conversation tilts toward them, do you feel that point of pressure? The moment when you could add something about them and you already know it would have that particular taste. That is the point. Not a moment to judge yourself, a moment to look. Looking means asking, what am I looking for right now? Connection, relief from something that weighs on me, confirmation that I am not like them. This is not a question to make you feel guilty, but to see clearly. Diffusion, the process we will explore more fully in Chapter 11, does not ask you to suppress the impulse or forcibly correct it. It asks you to change your relationship to it, to see it for what it is without automatically following it. In contemplative work, there is a simple indication. The moment you see the impulse is the moment you are no longer entirely inside it. Something observes, and when there is observation, there is space. In that space, the unnecessary word can remain unspoken. This is not about becoming permanently silent or censoring every conversation. You can speak about others, about their actions, about real conflicts, about what genuinely concerns you with precision and respect, without the word needing to deflate them in order to inflate you. The difference lies in the intention, and intention is discovered only by looking. Gossip is not a moral flaw to be uprooted by willpower. It is an ancient mechanism responding to real needs. But when you see it at work, when you recognize the subtle pleasure, the small charge, the measure shifting, you have already begun to step out of it, not by fighting it, but by understanding it.